This is Rebecca, this is Chelsea. We're working on a project called Lightning Round. So a little overview of the game is, basically it's a very fast-paced educational game. It's meant for 5th grade students. It's kind of based on Nintendo's WarioWare, where you have really, really short games in quick succession, and you kind of have your lives and all based on how many games you succeed at. So we have randomized quick mini games and an extensive library of games. It's intended for 5th grade students in the sense that the knowledge theoretical know.
Here's a little. Okay, so this project came from a PDI project that I did with a partner. It was for the Studio 5, which is the Educational Technology Studio. So we'd come up with the idea of a flash game, and we originally focused on history as a subject because we felt that it had been overlooked and it would be well suited for the format of this game. So we actually did develop a prototype of about 15 games and took it to a local school and tested it, and the kids were really into it, and then the teachers also liked it and they gave us some feedback as how we could continue it. Then our teacher for studio took it to other teachers, and science teachers asked that we make a science version as well, so we had some very clear places on where we wanted to go with the project. So here's what it is. It's a predation slide. You get this. Then if you write, you don't get to the lives. And yeah, you just sort of keep going. Yeah, so there's about 15. You can play it online. There's a link in my blog, in the blog.
So right now we obviously have something to work off of, but the existing code has a lot of problems. The randomization, especially of the mini games right now, doesn't work properly. So we need to fix that up. We need to clean basically everything and fix up the structure. There's only 15 mini games right now, and we'd like to idealistically have 50 per version. So we'd like to have 50 that will be up in the upper left corner, but it doesn't work right now, so we need to fix that.
It's not very good.
Yeah. We want to add a science version as teachers requested. It would be the same style, and it would work from the same game. You just choose which mode you want to enter, whether history or science. And we're also considering taking this into alternate languages for those who don't speak English as a primary language, so something like Spanish. So a lot of the work we've been looking at right now is what platform do we actually want to base our game in. When Rebecca worked on the game, she worked in Flash, but they were PDI students, not comp sci, so they didn't really know all the options. So we looked up Scratch and worked with that this past week and tried to see if that was a better alternative to Flash. It was a really good setup, it was really easy to use, but it seemed like it was also somewhat aimed at people learning how to do a lot of these things, so we didn't know if it would give us all the features we needed. And a major consideration was we would actually have to restart everything. We do have a good basis for the game right now. Most of the back-end stuff is done, even if it needs to be cleaned up. So it seemed like moving to Scratch would actually just set us back more than it would actually help us move forward. So we decided that we're going to keep working in Flash and work on what we already have. Thanks to Sean O'Sullivan and RCOS. Any questions?
Does it work on if you restrict yourself to Flash, does it work with the iPhone?
It probably won't work for the iPhone, but I don't know if we'd actually aim for that anyway. It seems like right now we want to actually get the science version and the history version fully working before we consider changing.
And another question is, does it also work standalone, or do you need to go through the browser? Sorry, do you need to go through a internet connection?
You should be able to make a downloadable version.
If it's downloadable, can you say you're stopping the game and come back, or do you have to start over every time?
It'd probably be start over. The way it works is because the games are randomized, you don't really have a spot. You might have a high score, but it's really not something you save and come back to.
usually the first talks you need a milestone or some rough scheduling, not detailed schedules, it's difficult to give, but say what would be.
We have the goals listed out on our blog.
Okay.
For the next, we set up our goals in every 2 weeks. The next 2 weeks we want to work on actually being able to make games on a quicker pace. So the goal is 10 new games, 1 game a day, but hopefully after that we might even be able to do 2 games a day. And we'll also be down a member because I'll be gone for a couple of weeks.
Another question. Scratch, I always thought Scratch was kind of an educational tool for like lower grades. So it surprised me that it's a potential replacement for Flash.
It's not so much that it was a potential replacement for Flash. Flash is just that it would be a way for us to create the game and move it over to Android. I think we have a very easy way of moving games over to Android. And it did have most of the capabilities of Flash for a low-scale game. And a lot of these games don't have very enhanced features, like moving your mouse around. So we probably could make the games in Scratch. It would just probably be a bit slower. We played quite a few sample Scratch games, and you can do a lot with it.
Can you do the demo again? Like explain each one. They're so quick, and I'm not in 5th grade, so I can't.
So up in the, see, you have the 2 up in the left-hand corner. That's actually the highest score because that's how many games I completed before I went back to the PowerPoint and just continued going. So you'd have the, you have the standard tab and whatnot, and you get like a flash of information of what you want to do. And basically everything is based off the mouse right now, and you have the timer on the bottom showing how much time you have. But as you can see, the randomization is sort of not working.
So what do you have to do right there? Do you have to do something?
Yeah, I'm waving the mouse right now. That's how you have to wave the sign enough times to protest the war.
And that one I thought you were putting on the Tea, and I think nice.
It's the Boston Tea Party. So, we have as many clues as to what you do as possible. This one caused a lot of trouble because the goal is to not move the mouse because you're told not to move. So, and if you see, if you click the wrong one, he gets angry and you lose a life. So, but again, there's 15 games, but you've only seen about 4 because we haven't gotten, we didn't really know what we were doing code-wise when we started.
Does it kill off the presidents on Mount Rushmore?
Yes, it does. We were originally thinking it was
awesome.
fireworks.
Just like all of it.
One thing that the teachers did request was that we had more knowledge-based, where it required the student to actually input knowledge. But we do mix in games like this where if you click enough times, it sends a message. And it has the visual clues in different places. Yeah, so. So you just have me on the trees. Are there any other questions?